Hey, how are you doing? It's Alan here from Looking for Warriors. I want to do a real quick video about Photoshop. Now, I talked about a number of things that were useful for kids to learn. One, I was talking about typing, super important. Two, I was talking about reading. Now, I want to talk about the third thing, which is Photoshop. I've been teaching my own kids Photoshop now. We are in a pandemic right now. You may have heard it's 2020, so I work from home. I have my own office, it's great, which gives me an opportunity to teach my kids. I didn't want to waste this time. There's a number of things that I wanted to teach them, but one thing which I thought was really important, it's very useful these days, Photoshop. So very simple. I went on to Skillshare, found a great course in Skillshare. Now, I'm hoping that I will link it up in the description box. I've said that before and I haven't done it, but if I remember, I will link the Skillshare course that I'm using in the description box. It's brilliant. Skillshare, I think, is great. Yes, it's hit and miss. There are great courses on it and there are not so great courses on it. And partially also it's your learning style. If you're willing to go through the course, get your Evernote out, take notes as you go through and use the skill, then Skillshare is great. Obviously, if you just listen, then it's not so good. I found the same with Audible. Audible, I think, is great. But I think with Audible, it's great because you can clean the house while you listen to a book. But the issue is that really on the second listening or third listening, you need to be sitting down taking notes. You probably need the actual book in front of you as well. I'm trying to see if I have a books here, and you need to mark the book and take notes. If you really want to learn something, if you're just doing it for entertainment, that's fine. But getting back to Photoshop, the boys are doing Photoshop and I didn't have a lot of time with them. I needed them to sit down and do it themselves, which they're not going to do it first. They're just not going to do it at first. You need to sit with them. Partially, the whole thing is they want to have time with you. So you need to sit with them at first, just like the reading. You need to give it a month where you're sitting with them, going through it, showing them how to listen to the course, and then getting Photoshop out and doing it with them. Now you need to rent Photoshop as well. If you're going to do that, you don't have to do Photoshop. Photoshop is great though. So you need to sit with them, listen to it, and do it yourself. If you don't know Photoshop, you can learn it yourself while you're doing it with them. The courses are great. Some of the courses are great, I'd say. You have to find a good course. Well, I'll link the course I'm using below, which is a great course, by the way. You need to sit with them and do it with them initially for at least a month, maybe 2 months. You gauge it, you know your own kids. But I found that today and the last few days, the first day I've kind of stepped away because they've been doing it for a while. They've gone through like lots of the modules. They're not halfway, it's a very long course actually, but they're not halfway through, but they're a good bit through it. They've gone through more than half of the modules and I've done it with them and they've been great. And now what is really surprising and shocking me is that they're sitting down themselves, and while I'm working, I can sit down and work. I have a lot to do, I'm so busy right now. I can sit down and work away, do my work. I have an office now, but if you don't have an office, you have a kitchen table if you need to do that, or a table in the bedroom. And another desk away from me, I can see what they're doing and I can see that they're concentrating. And the other thing that's great is I said, work together, guys. And they're working together. They're really working together. They're teaching each other as they're going through and they're really cooperating, which is amazing to me, real teamwork, and they're really bonding through it. That's amazing to me because I notice when they're doing things like they're playing Fortnite or another computer game, it can lead to rows sometimes, and sometimes kids can row with each other, and you don't want that necessarily, part of life to some extent as well, but you'd like to avoid it if possible. But I always see them when they're sitting doing the Photoshop, they have such good teamwork, they're helping each other out, and they just seem so happy and so connected, and they really look like they're bonding, which was a shock to me. And it's a shock to me how much they're doing by themselves now. They won't do it at first. You can't just say, here's a course, see you later. Maybe it depends on you, maybe your kids can. But from my experience, I haven't been able to do that. But after about a month, 2 months, you gauge it was about a month for me, they will just start doing it on their own. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful to see. So this is already too long, this video, so I'm going to stop it right now. But Photoshop, teach your kids Photoshop. It's Alan from Looking for Warriors.